all, the law that permitted, the British law enacted by the Parliament that permitted British soldiers to write their own search warrants, as you just talked about, was arguably the last straw before the committees of correspondence got together, and there was pretty much a consensus amongst colonial leaders that they had to get the British government off their back. Fast forward 230 years, and the popularly elected Congress authorizes federal agents to do the same thing that we fought against the British government because they were doing. The King and the Parliament let British soldiers write their own search warrants. The Patriot Act lets federal agents write their own search warrants. Have we come 360 degrees?
Well, I think Americans would be more outraged if they knew how frequent this was and that it was being used against U.S. citizens. A lot of Americans think, oh, it's just people who are spies for other governments. The national security letters that are being signed by FBI agents, not judges, were used 200,000 times in the last 10 years. Now, there's another part to this, too. There's something called suspicious account reports that are coming out of your banks. Your bank is also looking into your records without a warrant, too. 2 million times the banks looked into your records over the past 10 years. 2 million times without asking any court or any judge for permission. They just looked in your bank account and then reported it to the government.
And you know, the Constitution is pretty clear. It not only says that only judges can issue search warrants, it says they can only do so based upon probable cause of crime presented to them under oath, and then it says the search warrant must specify the person, the place, or the thing that the government wants to search and seize. The Patriot Act lets federal agents go to a telephone company saying, we want to listen on these lines, without specifying to whom they want to listen. This is so blatantly against the oath that they took to uphold. Same oath that you took, same oath that I took when I was a judge. It's hard for me to imagine how anybody can enforce this law in good conscience.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that some people worry, they say, well, how would we ever catch terrorists? Could we get warrants? Before the Patriot Act, tens of thousands of warrants, maybe hundreds of thousands, were given by the FISA court, and very rarely did the judges ever turn them down. What happened is when 9/11 happened, they said, oh, we have to act, we have to do something, and they still say it here in Washington. They say, oh, we could have gotten the 20th hijacker if we'd had the Patriot Act, but they won't tell you the truth. The truth is they never ask any judge for a warrant to search Moussawi's computer. They didn't do their job, and so they blamed it on not having enough laws, but in passing new laws, we had to give up the Fourth Amendment.
Switching gears, this morning the President introduced his budget.